Welcome, we're Matt and Cheryl from We're in the Rockies, and today we are in Yellowstone in February. And as we've been doing our travel channel, we travel pretty much every month, and we've been to several destinations both in the winter and in the summer. And today we thought we would tell you our favorite places to visit in the winter and some that we actually believe are better to experience in the winter.
Yeah, so these are all places that we've been to both in the summer and in the winter, and then we'll actually give you a rating as to which we would prefer. So the first one, Las Vegas, Nevada, the famous Las Vegas, Nevada. So we went here a couple years ago, and it was 115 degrees in the summer.
It was a major heat wave.
And
it was so hot, and I walked around with the Camelback just drinking it.
our memory of that is that we had our camper trailer and we were at Sam's Town. We actually camped at a casino, which is crazy. But it was so hot that the AC went out. So we went over to get in the pool, and there was a hot tub next to the pool, and our kids commented that was actually cooler than the air.
Yeah, the hot tub was 108, the air was like 115. And
So then we went there in January last year, and Cheryl and I did, and it gets cold in Las Vegas. It does get cold.
nothing a little coat can't handle.
But we just put our coats on, went out on the outskirts of Vegas hiking, and then we did some activities around Vegas, but much less crowded. Now, so the crowds are actually part of the fun of Vegas, okay? There were still plenty of people there to have a Las Vegas feel. And so for that one, what would you rate, winter or summer?
Winter for sure. And one other thing you didn't mention was they had their Chinese New Year decorations up, and they were fantastic.
That's true. That was pretty cool.
it
And
was-
all the
casinos had them.
The main casinos had really done them up well for the Chinese New Year. That was
So
awesome.
yeah, I definitely say, because the thing is you can always put more layers on, but if it's 114 degrees outside, there's not a whole lot you can do besides sweat it out. Our next one is Zion National Park. Now, we're Utahns. We have visited Zion so many times in all the seasons, actually.
Yeah.
We've been to Zion all the seasons, and Zion is beautiful no matter what time of year you go there. We were there a couple winters ago, and we hiked along the River Parkway, and it was so beautiful. I was actually kind of surprised there was snow there, but there is snow in Zion National Park, and the snow against the red rock was beautiful, and it was fun. And you can even go in the narrows. You just have to get like full waders and things like that, but you can still hike up to the narrows if you'd like to. I mean, I wouldn't hike Angel's Landing in the ice and snow. That would be so dangerous. Zion actually has even decent crowds. Like we were there over Thanksgiving.
We go over there around the
Christmas.
holidays.
Their shuttles are still running, but there are times in the winter where they do stop that shuttle service, and you are allowed to drive your personal vehicle into Zion Canyon, which is pretty unheard of most of the year and quite a luxury.
And it is beautiful with the snow contrasted with the red rock. It's a great idea to go in the winter for sure. It's unforgettable, but I'm gonna go with summer. It has the green trees, the red rock, and just amazing at Zion. So I'm gonna go summer over winter, but can't go wrong going in the winter. So the next one is Jackson Hole and Grand Teton National Park. So this was kind of something that my family did quite a bit when I was growing up, or at least occasionally. We would go up to Jackson and cut a Christmas tree down. And then they have elk rides there as well. The National Elk Refuge is there. So right now we are in Yellowstone, and in the winter a lot of the elk will migrate down to Jackson Hole because it's lower elevation. You can go there and you can go on sleigh rides out through the elk and see them right up close. Grand Teton, you can ski, you can cross country ski, you can snowshoe, you can also snowmobile. That's a huge snowmobile area. I mean, that whole valley is just an adventure valley anyway, summer or winter. So it's a great place to visit in the winter.
But what's your vote?
Summer.
I agree. Summer is, oh my gosh, Grand Teton. Just the greenery of Grand Teton is so amazing. And just being able to go on a river float.
And part of the thing is the temperatures there are just amazing, even in the summer.
Next one is Disney. Whether it's Disney World, Disneyland. In Disneyland and Disney World in the summer, they have some really long hours. You can go there from 8 a.m. until midnight, and they have all their spectaculars going on, like their fireworks and all their programs. Like everything is running on all cylinders in the summer, which is really great. The bad thing about it, of course, is the crowds. That's when kids are out of school and all families are traveling. And I have to say that for our family, we never, ever, ever go there in the summer. We went on a pretty magical trip to Disney World a couple years ago in January, and it was just like even now, the whole family just like is like, you know.
Yes.
And I know like in the summer too in Florida there's like monsoon season, and so and California it just gets hot in the summer. So yeah, I would say. Oh, and the other nice thing about like winter at Disneyland is like they do winter decorations and they do fall decorations, and we're actually going to be there this November. We're pretty excited to go again, but we've always enjoyed going in the fall when they have their Halloween decorations up too.
We're going with winter on anything Disney. We're going with winter, right?
Right. If there's somewhere that you like to go in the winter better than the summer, or you think is at least cool to visit in the winter, put it in the comments. We'd love to share with each other some awesome places, because as winter drags on, a lot of times we all get itching for a vacation, and it's good to have some good ideas of where to go.
Okay, the next one we have is Moab, Utah. Moab, Utah, another Red Rock place that's kind of near and dear to our hearts here. So,
and that's Arches and Arches and Canyonlands.
Arches and Canyonlands.
Yes.
Yes, and so 2 popular national parks there, and Moab is another outdoor adventure mecca. I mean, that place is amazing, so much to do there. So we went there this last November. We did a Jeep ride. I guess we'll call November the winter.
Yeah.
And we did a Jeep ride there, and we hiked the Jeep ride, by the way. We went on Hell's Revenge, famous off-roading trail. It was a tour that
it was so scary. Like so scary.
Incredible. Actually, just like if you can go do a Jeep ride, a Jeep tour in Moab at some point in your life, go do it. It's amazing.
But get a professional driver so you don't die.
And then we also hiked through the fiery furnace in Arches National Park with our kids. And again, in Moab, it snows and it gets cold. They have a winter there. And so we bundled up, we got our coats on and our hats and all that, and we went out hiking with hardly anybody around, no reservation needed to get into the park. And it was incredible. It was an incredible experience. There was snow on the ground, and it had just kind of dusted the Red Rock, and it was just beautiful. So summer, winter for Moab.
For sure, winter. Oh yeah, because
winter,
it also gets very hot there, and Moab Arches Canyonlands isn't a very big space. And so it doesn't take a ton of people to fill it up, and it gets crowded.
And the reason is because Moab attracts a bunch of different crowds. It attracts the Jeep off-roading crowd. It attracts like river rafters. It attracts
national park lovers.
It attracts rock climbers, backcountry people. I mean, there's a lot to do there, and it is an amazing place. And I would still go in the summer, but
we'd rather go in the winter.
Off season for there would be amazing. You just put your coat on.
Right. Okay. Next one is Bryce Canyon. We also visited that a couple winters ago, and those hoodoos covered in snow were so beautiful. It like just the red and the white together is really, really neat. And Bryce is kind of like my bar. I love Bryce. I think it's beautiful, and I love to hike all over Bryce. But that being said,
how is this compared to the summer?
Not as good.
Not as good as the summer?
Well, I mean, this is really pretty, but I've realized that one of the things I like about Zion and Bryce is the heat.
Is the weather.
I like the heat. Now, we have made this amazing discovery about putting spikes on your shoes on this trip.
How much that helps.
Yes, you can hike all over the place with spikes on. You don't slip, and it's great, and it's kind of fun to feel that little crunchy crunch in the snow.
And now, by the way, Bryce is like 10,000 feet, 8 to 10,000 feet high. Elevation. So people don't realize this about southern Utah, that a place like Bryce is so high. So it has a legit winter there with a lot of snow and a pretty long winter season. It's not like Moab, it's legit winter, and it's so beautiful in the winter, but we're going with summer for sure on Bryce.
And one other special thing about Bryce is Bryce does not have the difficulties that some of the other parks have. Like,
yeah, it's not nearly as crowded.
The shuttle system runs smoothly.
Great.
So,
and the temperatures are great because it's so high elevation that even in the summer the temperatures are amazing. It doesn't get that hot. It's not like the other places. Bryce is awesome in the summer. It's like the biggest hidden gem there is.
I know. We should probably not be telling people this.
That's right.
These rocks make me want to go on Thunder Mountain Railroad. I want to go to Diz.
City on the next one here, Park City, Utah. Again, we're Utahns, so Park City, famous ski town. I mean, Utah really actually does have the greatest snow on earth. That's kind of Utah's little slogan, the greatest snow on earth. But also fun things to do in the summer there. You can ride the bobsled. This is something we really want to do because the Olympics were held there. They have a bobsled that you can actually ride with the bobsled driver, and he goes like 90 miles an hour I went to Sundance Film Festival this year in the winter. That was really a special thing. The actors were there at the showing, and it was the first time they had seen their own movie. And so after the movie, they called them up to the stand, and we got to ask them questions and applaud them and meet them and take our pictures with them. With skiing and the Sundance Film Festival, I think I'm going to go with winter for Park City there.
Oh, and
although summer is great, actually.
yeah. And we saw, not too far away from there, Midway, we saw ice castles. The ice castles were beautiful and something unique. I've never seen anything like that before. And they also have like this cool tubing hill up there. So yeah, I would say winter for Park City too. By the way, our last one is going to be location that we'd love to go to in the winter. But I want to tell you about Yellowstone because we've been spending the last 3 days here in Yellowstone. We get to do one more day tomorrow, but our take on Yellowstone in the winter. So Yellowstone in the winter is a completely different experience than in the summer. You get really, really, really great views of wildlife. They're so close to the people here. And it's a park of passions in the winter. People are cross-country skiing. There's photographers. There's wolf watchers. There's snowshoers. I mean, oh, and snowmobilers. You can ride your snowmobile into Yellowstone if you have a permit. And then there's these fun excursions going on in snow coaches. And the coolest thing about being here in the winter is that you get solitude. I mean, have you noticed there hasn't been anyone walking behind us? Like,
we're at Old Faithful, by the way. We're at the Old Faithful area.
Yeah. We saw Old Faithful by ourselves today. Like, there was no one there. Yeah. We hiked the Mammoth Terraces by ourselves, no one there. I mean, you get so much just peace and tranquility here in the winter, and it really is a magical winter wonderland. Like, it's just so beautiful, but it's so cold. Oh my gosh. Like, we were shooting a video earlier today and I had a hard time moving my mouth because it was like freezing up.
Okay, so summer or winter for Yellowstone? We are going with
summer.
Summer. I mean,
yes.
It can't be Yellowstone in the summer. I mean, the temperatures are amazing, 80 degrees. The mornings are kind of have that, you know, that perfect mountain air. Green in the meadows. And
and also the geysers are easier to see in the summer. There's so much steam in the air that sometimes it's hard to see the water in the winter. And then if you look into the springs, they're not as vibrant because there's not the sunshine going in there to make the colors pop. But that being said, I wouldn't discourage someone from coming to Yellowstone in the winter. I am so glad we're here, and it's magical, and I can see us coming here again.
It's almost like a new location.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it over the summer, but I would highly recommend it.
But our
last one.
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So I did an internship in Washington, D.C. years ago, spent the whole summer there, and we've gone there multiple times. And we love Washington, D.C. I took a tour there in October last year, tour group there. We had a ball, and Washington, D.C. is really great. But one year I said, okay, family, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. in December. What we were going there for was to see a football game. So the Baltimore Ravens said, here's the deal. Me and the boy really want to go watch this football game. And so we are going to go there. The rest of you can come with me or not. But you just need to know it's going to be cold and there's no whining. So they all went. I was kind of surprised. And Cheryl was terrified that it was going to be the coldest thing ever.
I thought we'd be watching the game in a blizzard. I was really scared. And you know, before we left, I bought my whole family thermal underwear, and we all wore that every day under what we were wearing. We all wore our coats, our hats, our gloves.
Yeah.
And we had an amazing time.
We have a little family saying that you bring your own weather with you on vacations. So if it's raining, if it's really cold, that's okay. You just put a smile on and you bring your own sunshine. It rained on us a little bit. We went around the National Mall. I mean, nobody was there. It was unbelievable. I got tickets to everything I wanted to go to, like the Washington Monument, went to the top of that. We saw the Constitution, the National Archives. We went to Ford's Theater. We could get tickets to anything we wanted and get wherever we wanted.
And we were only there 3 days and we saw everything.
Went up to Fort McHenry in Baltimore. We did watch our Baltimore Ravens and we were all bundled up. It was pretty cold, but that was part of the thing too, you know, watching the Ravens there. So what do you vote, summer or winter?
Oh, I'd go there again in winter for sure. Because once again, it is smoking hot in DC in the summer. I think it would take you 6 days to do what we did in 3 because we were not dealing with crowds, and it was such a good trip. And like Matt said, we traveled with our kids, and I mean, I think our daughter was 6 or 7. Like, she wasn't that old, and probably our oldest kid was probably 14, and they loved it. And of course we loved it. And so I think just a lot of times it's just a matter of getting your mind over that it's cold in winter and just being prepared, dressing warm enough, and being prepared for maybe a little bit of inconvenience with the temperature. But I mean, there's a lot to be gained by opening up your travel season to more months than May through September. You know, there's a lot you can do at other places in the world or places right by you.